diabetes or asthma. It is a literal brain condition that makes you act or think different.
Isn't that what Elder Holland said in his talk a few conferences ago?
The depression talk?
Yeah, Elder Holland had that really good talk about depression. And he said, you know, don't be afraid to go get treatment because basically it's a medical condition just like any other condition. So I think that if people can adopt more of that kind of attitude, then that would go a long way.
Yeah.
So I think it all starts out with just destigmatizing it by just
But you know what I
education
think
and
is
awareness.
interesting is that there are probably, actually I don't know, but I would hypothesize that there are fewer problems with depression and those kinds of things in Bhutan than in the United States.
Yeah.
I would almost say that there are. You said that they're happy.
Yeah.
It's the happiest country. And it's also one of the poorest countries, so I think that it's ironic that we're living in the most privileged country in the world, and yet there's so many people who can't seem to be able to be happy.
Yeah.
Which is a really sad fact.
Yeah. It is really sad. And one more I wanted to talk about because I found it interesting was the sexual health education.
So you could probably talk about that, couldn't you?
So, it's a huge issue worldwide, and I guess one of the current goals is to reduce like HIV worldwide.
Yeah.
Isn't that one of the millennial
Yeah,
things?
that's actually one of
Yeah. So that's one of the current millennial goals. And a lot of that is coming through sexual transmission, and a lot of it comes through, you know, sharing needles for drugs. And,
Was drugs one of the ones that? I don't think it was.
No,
we should add that. I retroactively add that. Drugs.
So, you know, safe sexual practices. It reduces poverty. You know, less children are being born.
What's the
to underprivileged-
statistic that?
Yeah, so I read a statistic by a
80%.
psychiatrist from UCLA. I think he said something like 80 or 90%.
It was high.
Yeah.
It was very high.
People that had children before the age of 20 or 21 or something.
And out of wedlock.
And out of wedlock. Or didn't graduate high school. All ended up, like 90% of them ended up below the poverty line.
Wow.
Which is just another count, you know, not only for decreasing disease, but for increasing the strength of the family unit.
Yeah.
So, so increasing the strength of the family unit and decreasing disease is all coming through, you know, sexual health.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree with that. And going back to what you said about like the needles and stuff, there's like a lot, like if you guys, I don't know if you guys saw, but on my website, just
all
about
of the
how
hospitals
so much
and things are
disease
dirty.
and, yeah, just so dirty. And like, what do you guys think that, you know, I know it's an issue, but I don't know, like how do you guys think that can be, maybe, could it be stopped, you think? Because
I think it could. I don't think that they could stop it on their own.
yeah.
I'm sure they're trying as hard as they can, but when you have
No
12% of your population below the poverty line, and that's their poverty line. I mean, we're technically below the poverty line, but we live actually in a house and make money. So when you're talking about what the Bhutanese, is that the moniker, consider to be impoverished, making $1 a day, when you have 12% of your population that's that way, it's hard for you as a country to be able to have the means to get cleaner hospitals or even get sanitized supplies.
Yeah.
And so I think I applaud them for trying, but I think in order to meet that goal, that's where the United Nations and industrialized countries like the U.S. and things, foreign aid, that's where all of that should go to, is to helping them.
I do agree with you guys, yeah.
Because I mean, how much is a box of needles or something here?
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, and send it over there and it could save that many
So
people,
many
or
lives.
prevent them from getting secondary infections from
Yeah.
going to the hospital.
Yeah.
Or people could vaccinate their kids without fear of disease and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
I totally agree with you. Okay, going on to the third question, which was talking about how we're seeing like the view of the world and the process of development through different perspectives. And you guys chose the psychological view, the historical view, and the celestial view, which I found really interesting, and that you guys chose that. And psychological, you know, it's how you think and how you perceive yourself. And one example that I did put in the website was the balloons you
The
could talk.
balloons, yeah.
Yeah, what do you guys think of that? It's really cool, huh?
Yeah, I thought that it was neat. I kind of wish that we did something more like that.
Yeah.
I think because it was goals, right? They wrote
Yeah,
down
just
a
goals,
goal
like why
that they
they're
had and what
happy.
they accomplished.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that that's a neat example that illustrates the way that psychological, historical, and celestial perspectives all tie together.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you think about the history of the country, what they've been through, what they're currently going through, what problems lie ahead, and when you think about how somehow, despite all of that, they're able to be so happy,
Yeah.
and they're able to have this goal-oriented mindset. I mean, Americans
Well, it's
are
just
not
something
that
so
way.
simple for them. I mean,
Yeah,
just
and it-
riding on a balloon
And improvement gives them so much joy, and I don't see that a lot
yeah.
in America. I think that that's a really marked contrast, and I guess that kind of reminds me of the reason why I picked the celestial perspective is I've always wondered why some people are so blessed and then others have to suffer so much.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel so bad.
Yeah.
But I think it's so interesting that, like I said, in spite of everything that the Bhutanese are going through and the different ways, or the ways that they live that are different, in good ways and bad, from us, they're still able to be so happy and be so psychologically, I guess, stable.
Yeah.
I think in the long run, like the really long run, like the celestially long run,
Uh-huh.
that knowledge and that experience is going to serve them better than a lot of Americans or anyone in the industrialized world who takes things for granted. So I do think that eventually everything will all equal out, and the things that those people have learned will benefit them in the eternities.
Yeah. I find the celestial perspective so interesting. I wish I knew, why they
I
were
wish I
so,
did too.
So from
so sad.
a psychological point,
Uh-huh.
and this is, I don't know, kind of my own guess and observation, is they are so poor that when one person succeeds, they all succeed, because they all have to work together.
Wasn't that very
And-
Buddhist too?
And so that even existed in colonial America. Everyone depended on each other. Everyone depended on each other's crops. Everyone depended on the store. But here in a modern industrial society, it is all win or lose. And because we don't depend so much on everyone else, and with a perfectly competitive market, it's all win or lose. And so we project that onto ourselves. We are a winner or we are a loser, and it creates lots of self-esteem issues where they have zero self-esteem issues. There's loads of quotes by Gandhi. He was talking to psychologists from the West, and they tried to tell him, yeah, it was the Dalai Lama.
So the head of the Buddhist guys,
Yeah.
like the prophet of the Buddhists.
So all these psychologists were talking to him and trying to explain the concept of self-esteem and low self-esteem to him, and it was completely foreign. This guy is a genius. He is super smart, super educated, but he had never even heard of the concept of low self-esteem.
He couldn't even comprehend
Yeah.
why someone would feel badly about themselves.
Wow.
And a lot of it becomes because of us. It's like, we are so smart, or we are so dumb. I
Or
am
we
a
have
winner.
so much stuff, or we have so,
Yeah.
or
And
we
it's-
have nothing.
and it's this total black and white type thinking,
Yeah.
Well, it's
and
sad
it's
that we
total
think that way.
it's total self-centered. And so the more you think I am a winner or I am a loser in whatever it is, whether it's in school or in sports, or whether it's even your parents just saying, "Oh, you're so stupid. Why didn't you get that?" Or "You're a bad kid for doing this." It's that language and that perception of just black and white,
Yeah.
and so focused on the individual instead of more of a, it sounds bad, more of a communal outlook.
Uh-huh.
I forgot about that Dalai Lama thing.
Yeah.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah.
Because if you would ask anyone in America, they know what bad self-esteem is.
Oh, yeah.
You have bad self-esteem. Everybody does, even
Yeah.
if they say they don't. But he literally could not.
Even
He asked the
crazy.
people 7 times at least. Explain to me again what that means.
He's like, are these people violent because they hate themselves and other people?
Like, no, they
Like,
just feel
To
bad.
meet him.
Yeah.
That'd be
So-
like really interesting.
Yeah, he just had no
no
idea.
idea, and couldn't even grasp it. He was a super smart man, but he just had no idea.
Well, from the last perspective you guys had was the historical one, and thinking of that, I just thought of I don't know if you guys saw the picture in my website of the Buddhists, or the children, I guess, they were playing like volleyball sports in their traditional robes.
Yeah,
Like,
I saw that.
it's just
I remember
amazing
wondering how that would be.
Well, it's just amazing how traditions, they're being kept for so long in Bhutan. They really care about their culture, and so yeah, I just found that interesting, just how they really keep their.
I think it's really cool that just like you were saying, in spite of the fact that globalization is coming to them, because it's hitting everybody, right? You can't get away from it.
Yeah. But they're
still
able.
they're still
It's
holding
just-
on to their culture and being proud of it, and I wish that more cultures would do that, hold
Yeah.
on to it as tightly as.
Yeah, I agree with you. Well, overall, the fourth question was basically what do you guys think of it? So
Think of Bhutan or your website?
my website.
Oh.
I
I
thought
thought,
it was good.
yeah, I thought it was
Yeah,
good.
yeah, for you, it's easy to understand and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very clear,
I
very
liked-
concise.
I liked how you made efforts to boil down complicated ideas like globalization simply so that people can understand them quickly and easily. I really appreciated that.
And pictures.
Yeah,
Pictures
and
are always
the
good.
pictures were good.
I love pictures too, so.
Yeah,
everyone
no one wants to
make
read
it.
a bunch of words with
Yeah,
pictures.
yeah. Well,
So, but no, it was very well done.
yeah. Well, thank you guys for being my audience. I really appreciate it.
Thanks
Hope
for
you
letting us
learned
look at your
a
website.
ton. So.
We did.